Fluffy here. Well, back with Fibro Friday. I'm so sorry. I know I've been MIA, but I've been going through some things and I'm okay. Best way to describe this week, it has been a roller coaster, interesting, a lot of sleep, a lot of time in bed. So here I am. I'm so sorry I missed Mukbang Monday, but I am here with Fibro Friday. We left off with a sleep disturbance, weird symptoms. This is part 2 of episode 6. I will reread the last sentence that I read in the other video to kind of help us catch up. I lost the SD card cleaning this room. It has the SD card holder and it's got a micro SD, and it's the micro SD that I cannot find. So I have to film on my phone. So I really excuse the lighting. I'm in my room because the niece is watching a new show on TV. Okay? So I hope y'all will forgive me. So let's get started. All right? All right, let's look. Can y'all still see me? You'd be surprised at this jacked up setup I have. All right, let's look. Sleep disturbances. Non-restorative sleep may be described as not being able to fall asleep, not being able to stay awake, stay asleep, or more common, I feel like I haven't slept at all. We all know that, right? May awaken frequently and be unable to return to sleep for some time. May wake up full of pain and feel more tired than going to bed. Because it's really frustrating when it takes you forever to get to sleep because you got to find the right position. It's a pain in the ass. All right, so that's the last sentence where we left off last time. And this next part is also about sleep disturbances. I wish I would have read ahead, so I would have put that in the last video. There is a disturbance in the sleep pattern, and fibromyalgics are not able to enter into stage 4 sleep. Thus, they awaken frequently through the night when they reach stage 4. One may also feel that they are awake and asleep. Can y'all relate? I can't. In essence, what happens is that there is a brainwave activity asleep going on in the brain, and at the same time there is brainwave and energy of being awake going on. Almost like the sleep patterns and awake patterns are playing in the brain at the same time. Restful sleep is never achieved. Thus, there follows deep aching discomfort throughout the body and the feeling of being exhausted. The shoulders, neck, and low back are often the most painful. I mean, can you relate? I've had some friends call to keep me company, and one of the friends was like, why don't you go to bed? And I'm like, I can go to bed, but I can't sleep. And I'm used to it. You know what I mean? So I'm just used to working on no sleep. When I wake up in the morning, I try not to drive because even though I'm awake, I'm really... Give me an hour. All right. Frequent unusual nightmares or being unable to dream. Black, heavy sleep may be experienced if medication is taken to aid and staying asleep. Is taken to and staying asleep. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think I've had fibro for a long time, because I always have weird dreams. It jumps from one thing to another. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, and then sometimes I'll wake up and go, I don't think I dreamt, you know? And or sometimes I'll wake up and I'm like, what the hell was that? Can y'all relate? Night sweats. Wake up drenched in perspiration, then become very cold and maybe even start to shiver. I don't get them every night, but here lately I have. I'm at the age where I could probably go into menopause, but menopausal symptoms and fibro symptoms, as you can hear, they're just about the same. You can get night sweats and hot flashes, and so I don't know if I am or not. I mean, it's a crapshoot at this point. Y'all get night sweats? They're frustrating, so frustrating. So then you get, So you get the night sweats and then you get hot. So you remove the sheets. And because your body's sweaty, then it gets cold. So then you get cold and then you cover yourself. And within a minute or two, you're hot again. Oh, it's horrible, y'all. How many of y'all can relate? It's horrible. Okay, intolerance to cold. Muscles contract in response to exposure to cold. Cold weather, cold drafts, ice packs, etc. Sometimes referred to as muscle gelling, as in jello. Jello is fluid and liquid when warm and gels when chilled. Extreme sensitivity to seasonal changes, climatic changes, rain and impending storms. Most fibro patients find that their muscles respond to the applications of warmth, but that application of ice packs or cold intensifies pain. Yes, I can't tell you this week, I just cannot seem to get my feet warm. Right now, they're freezing. Of course, I got bare feet on polished concrete. And the only thing that seems to help them not be cold is the bathtub. So I'm like, I'm going in the bathtub. And your feet are cold? Yes. How many of y'all can relate? I know somebody said it was it the opposite? Body temperature fluctuations. Hot 1 minute and cold the next. Perhaps inner controls, thermoregulatory system are out of whack. That's that whole getting hot, getting cold, getting, oh yes, it's terrible. Y'all, yeah, I see you nodding your head. Okay, okay, here we go. Fatigue. Fatigue can be described as feeling tired and being extremely exhausted. Sorry, I'm getting a notification. Get your money when you get your money. There we go. Fatigue. Where was I at? Extension for minimal physical exertion. Yeah, can be described as feeling tired to being extremely exhausted after minimal physical exertion. Sometimes a short nap in the afternoon may help relieve the feeling of fatigue, yet some people require frequent rest periods to get them through the day. Sometimes fatigue can come on suddenly and for no apparent reason and can be very debilitating. Short periods of exertion can require long periods of rest to recuperate, can be severe and have a sudden onset even with minimal physical exertion. May experience sudden debilitating fatigue that makes it necessary to immediately stop whatever one is doing and go to rest. May be experienced as a sheet of fatigue descending over one. It is so debilitating that patients are often left wondering how they can carry on. I'm just too tired to keep on living. And I know that some of y'all are going through this right now. And it's hard and it's more difficult when other people don't understand. And this is where our channel word comes into play. We must persevere. We must, even if you have to take the day at half an hour or an hour at a time. If I can just get through this hour, you know, if I can just get through the morning. There have been times where I have felt like that. There have been times where I have thought, you know, it would be easier if I just didn't wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? And things get that dismal. And that is the time, if you start feeling that way, that you call someone, you call a friend, you call a family member, you call anyone that you trust, okay? You can DM me. I get notifications on DMs. I don't get a lot of DMs. And so I will, as I'm sleeping, I will hear your DMs and we can talk it through. It is hard. Fibromyalgia is certainly not for the weak. Isn't that right? So y'all keep pushing and keep going. Lightheadedness. Y'all, and it isn't just like when you get up too fast or something, or turn too fast. I mean, I have sat there at the TV and all of a sudden I'm like, whoo, you know, and the room just kind of half spins. And, you know, if I didn't have fibro, I'd be like, what the hell was that? I mean, I have fibro, and sometimes I forget because I don't get it a lot. Excuse me. It surprises me sometimes. Now, I keep sinus issues, and I think that's what's been my problem. And so that makes me kind of dizzy, but not lightheaded. I mean, the other day, I almost fainted in the bathtub. So I had to hurry up and get out of it. So I'm not saying that to worry anybody. I'm through it. I'm over it. It's okay. I've been in the bathtub several times since then. It hasn't happened. So, you know, could be the fibro, could have been the sinuses. Vertigo. I don't have vertigo. I got vertigo a long time ago, but I don't know if I know it was before the fibro got really bad where I had to go find out what the heck was wrong with me. I got it trying to drive. Yeah, I had to get over as quickly as I could and sit there until it went away. But I don't have vertigo as a regular symptom of fibro. Do y'all? Let me know. Disequilibrium. I did not know that was a word, y'all. It's not a fluffy word. Disequilibrium, impaired coordination, misjudged distances, bang into door frames, walk into furniture, walls, etc. Hallelujah. I can't tell you how many times I have played ping pong with the walls down the hall. Yes, it throws you off balance. That is why my daughter does not allow me to get in the grass when nobody's home. I try to be real careful stepping off of curbs because it is a real thing. Do y'all experience that? I bet you at least 80% of y'all do. Give that my screwed up eye. I don't stand a chance, y'all. And that's why I have to use a cane now if I go out to steady. It's not so much to lean on, it's to steady myself. Cognitive function problems such as attention deficit disorder, ADD, calculation difficulties, memory disturbances, spatial disorientation, difficult with concentration and short-term memory. These things are commonly referred to by FMSers as fibro fog. Don't we know fibro fog? And we have discussed that at length in the other videos, but fibro fog, I think aside from the pain, and you barely walk across the room and you're just fatigued like you ran a 10K. Got very frustrated today cleaning this room because it shouldn't have taken me as long and it shouldn't have hurt as bad after, you know. I'm human. I get frustrated. The fibro fog for me, what about y'all, is very, very frustrating. You're sitting there having a conversation with somebody and one slight distraction and you're like, what were we talking about? What was that? Or simple words, you know, you're trying to describe ambulance, you know, and the word doesn't come. So then you have to go, you know that thing that's got the lights and it takes you to the hospital. That's embarrassing. It's more frustrating than embarrassing. I'm not a stupid person, and so I feel stupid when I can't come up with the word, you know, and I'm sure you can tell that my fog is so much better than when I was filming with the fog. So, but yes, it is very, very frustrating. What about y'all? But what are you going to do? What can you do? I mean, you can make notes to remember stuff. I mean, I have the luxury of, I have 2 other adults in the house, and wasn't we supposed to do this? I'm like, oh, thank God you were here. Thank God. So, fibro fog, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to make light of it, but you can't stay frustrated. You have to have a little joviality in your life. You have to have a little fun. You know, get out of your comfort zone and just persevere. Just do something that you wouldn't imagine that you would ever do. Right? Okay. Oh, let's see. Neurogenic inflammation, rashes and hives, inflammatory sensation with rashes that may be severe itching with inflammation initiated by the nerves. Okay, this, for me, comes along with itching. I know that I have psoriasis. A lot of people that have fibro have some kind of condition like that. Eczema, psoriasis, mostly psoriasis. And I know that when I'm having a bad day, even if I'm not having a flare, now flare, it's worse, I get the rash. But I think I discussed that before with y'all. You know, it's down in here. It's, oh, I have it really bad on my forehead. So thank God I made my hair like this today. But yeah, rashes are a common thing. Itching, that is nerve pain, you know, that is in the form of itching. It is frustrating. The rashes, you know, the severe itching, because usually when I itch, it's not in a place where, you know, you can just scratch anywhere. You know, I get it here. I'll get it on my thighs. Just places that, you know, and it's the urge to just rub yourself raw. I used to get it a lot on the tops of my feet, and the ex and the kid would have to just look at me and go, stop, look, because I would just bloody the tops of my feet. And I had to learn to be able to take some of the itching, because Benadryl did nothing. Some people can do good with Benadryl, but Benadryl does nothing for my itching. So I know it's not an allergy. Okay, let's see. Alteration of taste, smell, hearing. Some odors may make one nauseous. My hearing, maybe I got some psoriasis in there, because I cannot hear. I recently had a conversation with somebody. The conversation was, huh? What about y'all? Oh, I can't hear for crap, y'all. Not anymore. And I'm not overly vain, but I don't know about hearing aids. I don't know. And the ones where you can't see are just too dang expensive. Okay. There are some odors that really make me, but the kid bought one, and I can't remember what, I want to say flavor, but what scent it was. And she put it right behind my recliner. I'm telling you, I was nauseous all day, and I tried so hard not to get nauseous, trying to put up with it. And I finally told her, you know what, kid, I can't take it anymore. Please, please, please. Please put that out. So she had to unplug it. See, but my taste buds were off today. As y'all, some of y'all saw on my Instagram, she treated us to some chicken wings, and I had the naked wings like I always did, but the ranch just did not taste right. I don't know. And she was eating the same ranch, and she said it tasted fine, so. Okay. Sensitivity amplification may be more sensitive to smells, sound, odors, lights, pressure, and temperature fluctuation, vibrations, and noise. The buzzing from fluorescent lights, hum of computer, buzz of overhead hydro lines may become almost unbearable to an FMSer at times. FMS, hypersensitivity, nerve endings. And that we did a whole episode on that. White noise is what they're talking about. And if you're like, I don't know what white noise is. Have you ever been at home and the electricity went off? And it seemed even more quiet than, like, even if you didn't have the TV on, you just have these lights on, and then all of a sudden the power goes out and it sounds like you're out in nature. That's the white noise going away. That's what white noise is. Maybe develop food intolerances, allergies, and chemical sensitivities. I haven't developed a food intolerance, as you can see. What about y'all? Allergies and chemical sensitivities. I know after my daughter was born, I became allergic to mold, cedar, and dust. But who doesn't sneeze at dust, right? But I never had allergies before that. So, what about y'all? All right. Changes in visual acuity, impaired function of smooth muscle used for focus as well as skeletal muscles for tracking, may experience blurred vision and or double vision. Some people require 2 or 3 different eyeglass prescription as their needs change with the fibro symptoms, may experience visual or ocular migraines. I think we talked about that. Was that here or another day that I suffer from optical migraines and I didn't know what that was? Remember I was talking about how I had to leave central control at the prison because I got scared because I couldn't see. I do know that right before that happened, for about a week, it was almost like it, and they were looking at me, the eye people were looking at me weird because I said it's almost like somebody took their pinky and then put it in Vaseline and just went doop, on just one little part of the eye, and I would rub and rub and rub to try to get it to go away, and it just wouldn't. And then I ended up having that ocular migraine. But I've had that dot of blurriness more than I've had an optical migraine because I've only had 2 of them. The other thing is sometimes in the morning, I really can't see very well. Things are blurry and I can put on a pair of readers because remember, these are for my double vision. I do have double vision, but it's not from the fibro. It's from my fall. But, and so these just have, they're etched in there. Because I want to say it. Anyway, this has nothing to do with how I read. That's why I have to use readers. And I don't know. I mean, I'm like 5 years overdue a newer prescription, but I you know, $300-400 for glasses, please. I'm cheap. So, I don't know if they can put bifocals in there or not because, you know, I kind of can't think of that word. There's the fog. See, I goes bragging. If I just blurt out a word, it has to do with these glasses. So sometimes these don't even work, and I have to squint, and it just doesn't work. What about y'all? Do y'all have sometimes, some days, your eyesight is better than other times? That's the fibro. Now, if you're diabetic, it could be the diabetes, but I think with diabetes, once it starts to go bad, I think it stays bad. Margaret, you are the channel diabetic professional. Tell me I'm right about the diabetic eye issues. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. And if I'm wrong, please clarify it for me, for us. Let's see. Exaggerated nystagmus, involuntary rapid movement of the eyeball. I've never had that. Have y'all? And did you know it was, if you do, did you know it was fibro, or did you know this many years, like today? Because I had no idea, and I've read this article, and I don't remember reading that part. So we all learn something new every day. So let me know if you knew and if you have it. Hair loss. Ringing in the ears. Wait a minute. Okay, you know, intolerance of bright lights or sunlight. There are times that if I go out in the sun, you know, I had to wear sunglasses and I broke the last pair, so I have a really hard time when I first get out in the day. Not every day now, though. It used to be worse, but I've always felt like it was the bad eye. Dry eyes and mouth. Dry mouth can cause dental problems. Dry eyes may cause inability to wear contact lenses, may cause other visual problems, may require eye drops to keep eyes moist and free from infection. Eyes may be very dry at times and water at other times. Yes, I do get cotton mouth frequently. I hate it. And the dry eyes, that's for me, especially in the mornings. And, oh, it's terrible. Hearing loss. Low frequency sensorineural hearing loss. We talked about hearing loss, yeah. Fluffy can't hear a damn thing. What? Decreased painful sound threshold. Sometimes normal everyday noises become very irritating. May not tolerate radio or television well. Well, I have to turn the television up. I find that noises in crowds start getting on my nerves. It's like I'll be sitting there if we go to a restaurant and the noise, when I first go in, it's fine. And then it just seems like it gets louder and louder and louder. But then you have to sit there and smile because you're at the restaurant. It's like, shut up. Okay, let's see. Look, I'm trying to read without these. Okay, here we go. Where am I at? I want to make sure I jumped the gun, so let me read real quick. Low sound hearing, decrease threshold, ringing. Oh, here we go. Ringing in the ears. Ringing and sounds like a rolling ocean or whispers may be experienced. I do, the way they call it, tinnitus, but is it tinnitus if the ringing is coming from fibro? Either way, I do have ringing in my ears. I have it constantly, like it's ringing right now. I never have a quiet moment in my mind. Some days, it's very, very light. I mean, I can still hear it, but it's not annoying. And some days, it's really loud. And then sometimes, like this is talking about, it almost sounds like rushing in my ears, like rushing water or rushing air. Allergies. Severe nasal and other allergies, and patients might also have a deep sinus infection. Y'all, I keep, I don't know if it's from fibro, but because I use a CPAP machine, I constantly keep sinus issues. I have sinus issues. Part of that is the fibro. Part of it is that, I had that destroyed nasal cavity and they had the sinus cavity and they had to rebuild it. That's why I'm always sniffing in whatever video that I do. Today, I'm having issues, but I'm not. And so, shush. Let's trick it and get through this video before my nose realizes that I'm filming. Environmental sensitivities may develop. We talked about that. Intolerance of medications that were previously tolerated. I don't have that, but I am sensitive in general to medications. And according to my rheumatologist, a lot of fibro people are very sensitive to medications. Tylenol makes me tired. Intolerance of alcohol, intolerance of caffeine. I don't think I'm intolerant to caffeine, but like I try to take a nap because I did the bedroom and then I had to soak. My feet were freezing. My bones ached. I did too much, but I was feeling good, so I did it. And then I was exhausted because I washed my hair today and I thought, oh man, I need to take a nap. So I did. I tried to lay down. And I just laid there. And it just, I tried not to get frustrated from it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this video. So, be productive. Intolerance of processed white sugar and most artificial sweeteners. That's everybody. I don't see myself being extra intolerant to those things. But artificial sweeteners, we know that artificial anything isn't good for anyone, but we shouldn't have processed stuff. Whole foods is always best. For me, I'd rather do a little white sugar than the artificial sweetener, but I do go with sugar-free creamer and things like that, but I don't add artificial sweetener to things. For me, in my coffee, once you heat up those sweeteners, they just have this aftertaste. Is that intolerance to food intolerances all of a sudden? Okay. Premenstrual syndrome, PMS, swelling and tenderness, and lumps in the breasts are often experienced with PMS. Painful periods, as well as mood swings, exaggerated emotional responses, etc., as common in PMS. Well, I mean, how can you blame that on fibro? Now, I don't know if they'll put it here. Well, yeah, I see one word that I know Yeah, okay. There's some more girly ones. So guys, you'll have to tolerate this next part. I'll just warn you now, okay? These days, my PMS is, I get emotional. I get in my feels. That's about it. You know, the boobs get a little sore, but that's about it. So that's why I think I'm in menopause. All right, let's go. That's overshare fluff. Hey, can't overshare when you're talking about fibro, right? Might help somebody out. Oh. People that are prudish, don't come for me. Tolerance lumps, okay. Fibrocystic breast disease may be experienced by FMSers, especially prior to your period. Breasts may become very swollen and sore and full of cysts or lumps that disappear after the period. I know that women with large breasts anyway get lumps, get fibroids. I think that my whole family has had them. I'm really not sure. I mean, we don't sit around and go, hey, let's talk about breasts. I get all those except for the fibroids. Excuse me, I don't think I get that, but I'd already told you what happens when, you know. Okay, let's see. Frequent vaginal yeast infections, not really. I mean, I don't. Interstitial cystitis. I don't know what that is. Hang on, y'all. Let me see. Let me copy and paste that and see what it is. It probably has to do with the girl parts, I'm sure. But before I stand flat-footed and say that, let's look. Okay. Oh no, some possible symptoms, causes. Okay. What you know about, okay. It is a chronic bladder syndrome in which there is a presence of pelvic pain, bladder pain or pressure, and urinary frequency or urgency. The pain can range in severity from mild to severe. It affects approximately 4 to 12 million people in the U.S. alone. It is mostly women who have the condition, but IC can affect any individual regardless of age, race, gender, or ethnicity. It is also commonly referred to as painful bladder syndrome, bladder pain syndrome, and chronic pelvic pain. Okay. I don't have that. It says at times people with IC might also have IBS, fibromyalgia, and other pain syndromes. So there you go. I mean, sometimes I think I pee more than the average person, but that also comes with being a diabetic, right? You see how all of those, and so then it's enhanced, but okay, here we go. Irritable bladder, frequent urination might be uncomfortable or painful. Also, bladder spasms may feel like a bladder infection. I don't have those, just, you know, having to go to the bathroom frequently, but not all the time. Foul or strong smelling urine may smell like green hay, may be dark in color. I get the dark. I get the dark. And sometimes I'm thinking, but I'm drinking enough water. But it's not the same kind of dark. Does that make sense? Do y'all have that? It is a pain in the... It really is. I bet y'all are going, what? I thought I was dehydrated. And it could be. So make sure you're drinking enough water. Irritable bowel syndrome. Alternate between constipation and diarrhea, frequent abdominal pain, gas, and nausea. And I think this is where the nausea comes out. We talked about that, where your tummy goes from one, when you go to the bathroom, it's from one end of the spectrum to another, not changing your diet, not anything like that. It just comes out of the blue, and it's horrible, right? It's just, you know, it's like, you know, stomach, can you just please calm down? I mean, some of my issues are from my gallbladder, but you know, even before my gallbladder was giving me this many problems, this in my age right now, yeah, the IBS. I mean, I was never had anybody to say, you have IBS, but I've had bowel issues, tummy issues that resemble IBS. So you know. Depression may be reactive or clinical. Often pain and feeling ill all the time causes the depression. FMSers are depressed because they hurt. They do not hurt because they are depressed. You know, there is a difference. You know, if you suffer, you don't have fibro and you suffer from depression, depression can cause physical issues. That's why there's Cymbalta. You know, you heard that that commercial, what is it? Feeling in pain because of your depression or something like that. Cymbalta can help. Yeah, depression can cause pain, but, you know, we've talked about this. How can you have a chronic pain illness with the 200 plus symptoms that you have and not be depressed or anxious about it? So, please, 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 if you're not handling your depression on your own, which there's no shame in that, I couldn't handle it myself, and I went to get help, and I implore you that if you're in this situation right now, I would go see someone, call someone about that. Make an appointment, please. Anxiety may include panic attacks. I know that I do have panic attacks, but I do have PTSD from my fall. Large crowds, they make me nervous because in my mind, they're going to knock me down on the ground and I'll hurt this eye again. Same way with stairs. Going down them are harder than going up, but I get the panic feelings, you know, the sweating, the panic. And in my brain, I no longer see the stairs. I see the tile of where I fell. But may include panic attacks. So if you're just sitting there and you start just feeling anxious, there's really nothing going on in your life, but this all of a sudden this panic comes over you. That is that's your anxiety from your fibro. And if you see someone, a counselor can give you coping mechanisms to help you through that. I know some of them are you focus on something in the room and you keep focusing that. Some are reciting streets in your town. Anything to get your mind busy thinking about something else. Emotional lability or mood swings may be tearful at times because life seems overwhelming. Just had that this week. You know, it's, can't even say anything about it. We all understand, right? You just, all of a sudden, you feel overwhelmed and just the tears come and you're choking them back and some kind of dog at the pound on a commercial get you going. It does me. And people look at you like, what? Fibro, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's just fibro. Irritability, what's it? Oh, irritability probably due to pain and inability to do things that you need to do and want to do. That was me today. I was irritable, and I told y'all I kind of snapped at the niece. What was it? The last mukbang or the last haul? Remember, I had to apologize. And I apologize again after I was filming. So, y'all get irritable. I get irritable. I'm not always nice. Some of y'all know that. Personality changes, usually a worsening of a previous tendency. People who have FMS sometimes have a hard time accepting their limitations and the loss of the person they used to be. They go into a mourning process because FMS is an invisible sort of illness and patients often see many doctors before being properly diagnosed. They often begin to doubt themselves. How many of y'all thought, I am losing my freaking mind? How many doctors have I seen and they don't find anything? Especially when it comes to these weird symptoms, right? It's like, oh, maybe I am crazy. Maybe it's just that I need to see someone, right? But you're not. This is proof you're not going out of your mind. You're not. It's a real thing. And that part, you know, the person that I used to be, I discussed that about working hard at accepting your new normal. Fibromyalgia desperately need support and understanding from those closest to them, but they often feel alienated because of their illness and inability to participate fully in many common activities of daily living. Many are unable to continue working at the job they love and thus lose part of their identity that their job may give them. They begin to lose their sense of independence and productivity and their sense of value. I often feel like that, and it's frustrating when people like super close to you, and no, I don't mean the girls, that you hear think that you want to be sick, think that you don't want to work, you know, you want to be on disability. Really? Because I was making $3,000 a month, and for this area, that is really good. That's why a lot of people go to the corrections. Going down to less than half of that, you know what I mean? And I used to be good at my job. I had somebody recently tell me that that personality still comes out in me. I don't think so. Because I know my corrections face and I know my corrections attitude. And I don't think so, but y'all tell me. Those of you that are my ride or dies, you've been around me a long time. You let me know. Dang, she must have been a corrections. No. All right. And if you have this situation where people don't believe you and you're getting a hard time from family and friends, I'm so sorry that's happening to you. I'm very, very sorry that that's happening to you because it sucks. Anger and resentment towards lack of understanding may alter FMS's personality drastically and cause even further alienation from family and friends. Along with the sense of helplessness and worthlessness that may develop, they may begin to feel guilty for not being able to be the person that others need or expect them to be. They may become extremely depressed and begin to lose interest in life altogether. That's also, again, accepting your new normal. It's much harder to do that when people are complaining that you're lazy. Well, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? I remember towards the end, the ex would come home and look around and say, so, what'd you do today? So, yeah. Fibromyalgia does not usually respond to anti-inflammatory medications. Initially, they may be a positive effect, but often this initial response subsides. Low doses of antidepressants are often administered in an attempt to modify sleep patterns and serotonin uptake. Analgesics likewise often become ineffective once the body has become accustomed to them. Doctors are sometimes reluctant to prescribe narcotic analgesics due to the possibility of addiction. Various herbal remedies are found to have some positive effects by some fibromyalgics as are various vitamin and mineral supplement preparations. There are special herbal combinations specifically for FMS. I don't know what they're trying to say. I haven't looked. There's a line here. And I don't know what the information on this page was gathered through various readings. Okay, so I don't know if they're trying to promote herbal thingies. I don't see a link anywhere. And I always hesitate. I mean, I talk to y'all about what has or has not helped me, but that doesn't mean it's going to help you. I'm not a part of the medical field, and I'm not even a part of the holistic medical field because there is such a thing. So I thought about, okay, maybe I could do an episode and research maybe herbs and stuff that people have tried that it works for them. But I don't want that liability, y'all. And that's why I try to tell y'all that could be fibro, but it could be something else. If you have a doubt, go see, because I'm not an expert. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? I don't know. I'm just, I try to be careful. So many people get on here and they're not responsible for what they put out. They just put something out that sounds good, and I'm trying to not be that person. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do about that. I mean, I have mentioned things that help me out, but I haven't gone, okay, so-and-so says this, so-and-so says, you know what I mean? I don't know. Almost done, y'all. I mean, it's 44 minutes. I need to hurry up. Exercise programs are effective. Okay, here we go with the exercise again, y'all. Exercise programs are effective for some FMSers while they exacerbates the pain of others. Swimming is helpful for some people. Warm baths are sometimes comforting, especially if sea salt or Epsom salts are added into the water. I recently told someone, when I'm soaking in a hot bath, that is when my fibro pain is at its lowest. But then I get out of the bathtub and my body starts cooling down again. And you know what I mean? I go right back up to an 8. But you all know how I feel about my baths. Heating pads are helpful. Yes, they are. Either regular pads or moist pads. Infrared pads are also helpful for some patients. Analgesic rubs or liniments also bring some temporary relief. Massage, reflexology, and chiropractic treatments are effective for some FMSers, but tend to be aggravating for others. So, you know, we all know that. What works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. You know what I mean? It's a crapshoot. Fibro and fibro treatment is a crapshoot. You just have to keep pushing. But, you know, I had a fibro person tell me that they stopped taking something because it didn't help very much. My thought process is, if you stay at an 8 like me, most of the time, unless I'm in the bathtub, my fibro pain off of a flare is usually an 8. Okay? So if I try this tea that I can stand to drink, and it brings my fibro pain down to a 7, why would I stop that? You know what I mean? You have to have relief at some point. You know, you can't consistently stay at an 8. Because that's when the depression and anxiety and mostly the anger comes in, because you're not getting any relief. Why wouldn't you continue whatever it was you were taking? Unless, of course, the side effects outweigh that little bit of improvement. Okay, because I know some medications, like a lot of people can't stand Cymbalta. You know what, I misdosed myself. I went from 20 to 60, and then I screwed up and put the wrong pill in the bottle, and for a week, maybe 2, but at least a week, I was only taking 20 milligrams, had no effects. The other night, I forgot to take my Cymbalta, and I was just weepy for 2 days. But I don't think it was the lack of Cymbalta. I don't know. But you know, because we get weepy anyway. So, but my whole point is, if you're taking a tea and it doesn't hurt you in any way, it doesn't give you gas, it doesn't give you stomach cramps, and it brings your pain down from an 8 to a 7, why wouldn't you take it? Because then, what if you take this tea and you go from 8 to a 7, and then you have this other thing that, like, lavender scented, what is that thing that you put the drops in and the water goes out? I can't ever think of that word. And then smelling that brings your pain down to a 6.5. That's, you know what I mean? That's at 1 point, that's a 1.5. Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, you have to have your reasons, but I don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, this last statement, it is very important for those who suffer from this syndrome to remember that they have fibromyalgia and that fibromyalgia does not have them. That is a very hard thing to accept, okay? But accepting your new normal doesn't mean that that fibro has you. I mean, you have fibro, you know, and it has you being limited. But I think that statement, I take it as persevere. In spite of having fibro, do what you can to reduce your pain and to live as full of life as you can. I think that's basically, and then it just goes on, and it's just credits and everything. This page last updated May 5th, 2009, so we knew that. So that it concludes episode 6, part 2. I really hope you enjoyed it. Now the trick is going to get it from this phone to the computer so I can edit it and get it up. Hopefully I'll get it up before midnight at 7:45 Texas time. So I'll work on that as soon as I close this out. Thank you for spending Friday night with me. I really appreciate y'all stopping by. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. God bless y'all. Positive vibes out to each and every one of you. Remember to always be kind and be your own advocate. I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all real soon, okay? Bye.